Well, good evening, and welcome to PAALS' 5th annual graduation. Oh, you can all clap. For those of you still coming in, please just find a seat anywhere and feel free to pet a dog next to you. I think we have almost 30 of them in here, and not all of them are service dogs. A lot of them are still in training, so forgive any wet noses that bump you as you're sitting by. Tonight we have a lot of special guests that I want to introduce to you, so I'm going to start by welcoming our clients. We have 2 assistance teams that are graduating tonight, so please give them a big round of applause. I'd also like to welcome all their friends and family that are here to celebrate with them. Of course, all of our PAALS board members and advisory board members, all of our volunteers, our small but mighty staff, and all of our PAALS partners. I would like to point out a few of our supporters that have been especially helpful to us this year. For one, the Laurie Center, where we all are here. We have this space donated for the last 6 years. So this is the first time we're hosting the celebration here, but we've been here for many other sessions with our fosters. I'd like to also thank the South Carolina Veterans Trust Fund. They made a very large donation this year that helped us with our Rob's Best Friend Fund. Sandra and Ken Gaines, who have been very big supporters of ours. South Carolina Charities, All South Federal Credit Union, Cecil and Marissa Bordages, Sherry Jordan, our combined federal campaign, Northeast United Methodist Church, Brian Starnes of Brian's Landscaping, AARP, Martha and John Bradshaw Charitable Trust, the St. Andrews Animal Clinic, the Deadmans, Catherine Neal, Whole Foods, KO Enterprises of Columbia Incorporated, Dutch Fork Animal Hospital, Lee and Bill Hopkins, A Paws Paradise, and finally, Kershaw Correctional Institution. Please give all of our partners a big round of applause. You'll also note that in your program, we have a very lengthy list of other partners that have been helping us, not only this year, but throughout all the years of our existence. So thank you to all of them. Please do recognize them and give them your business if they're a local business. Now, as many of you know, PAALS has a program that honors my late brother, and it's called the Rob's Best Friend Fund. Originally, when we started this program, the purpose was to provide assistance dogs to any of our service individuals who needed them. As word started to spread about this program, we started to learn that there were some different needs out there than what we originally thought. I spent a few nights lying awake thinking about some of the young veterans that I had met that really weren't in need of a service dog, but were greatly touched by some of the noses of our dogs in training as I met them. As a result, today we share with you our newest program. It's the VIP, or Veterans Important PAALS program. Now, these dogs were trained as service dogs and many behind bars at Prison PAALS. And they either didn't have a match during the time that their training was completed, or for some reason they didn't qualify as a full service dog because of their temperaments. They were deemed better as companion dogs. Even though they don't wear working capes, we feel that a lot of them are still working in a big way, and we're going to tell you a little bit about that tonight. One of the ones that I was going to introduce, I don't think he was able to make it tonight, but his name is G, and his dog is Siva. If you're out there, now's your time to stand. I don't see you. Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit about them. G has served 18 years in the U.S. Navy and continues to serve us today. He has served 2 tours in combat zones, the most recent in Afghanistan with a 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force at Camp Leatherneck. He was diagnosed with PTSD and from his first deployment in 2007 and in 2008 in Kuwait, in addition to his traumatic brain injury from his 2nd Combat Action Tour. When I first met G, I was surprised to also find out that his wife also suffered from PTSD. Really, there was only one gigantic glab for this type of job. For those of you who have met him, you know his name is Siva. This is one of the males that was born into the PAALS program and into mine and Chuck's home. He was slated to fill a facility dog job until a change in the administration in that hospital delayed the project, making it possible for C to go to G and his family. So please give G and C a big round of applause, even though they're not here. Our next VIP actually is here. His name is Dallas, and Dallas and his wife Lynn both served in the U.S. Air Force for a combined total of 25 years before retiring. Their service stretched back to the Vietnam War. Lim was a nurse assigned to an air vac squadron in Japan that tasked her with stabilizing wounds as soldiers were transported in various states to hospitals back here in the US. Dallas fondly remembers his time on a humanitarian mission as a pharmacist who witnessed life-changing procedures to fix cleft lip and palates. Their VIP was born into the PAALS program as well, but she was disqualified as a full-service dog candidate due to her unbounding love of squirrel and cat chasing. Now Dallas delights in walking her daily as she taunts the local wildlife while getting her exercise. She is also very popular at Sand Hills Farmers Market, as yes, she too inherited her mother's smile. And for those of you who are not familiar with our mother of our program, you'll meet her in a few minutes. Her name's Akira. Will Dallas and Ginger please stand to be acknowledged? Our next VIP recipient is a personal friend and a foster for PAALS. He and his family have been taking PAALS dogs homes on weekends, helping to create life-changing canines for those in need, never knowing that they too might have a need that a dog could fill. Fred is a retired commissioned officer and second lieutenant who has a teenage daughter named Abby. Over the last year, Abby has been struggling with joint hypermobility syndrome, complex migraines, and severe vertigo. This year, Abby is homeschooled in an attempt to manage her pain better, and now she has a VIP dog that assists with comfort during those times. This VIP is an early retired guide dog who also, due to his love of cat chasing, had to retire early. His guide partner trained him with the help of partners and trainers in Florida and wanted him to retire into a role where he could still help others, and that he does. Wiley is also from Scotland Yard Line, so he is real royalty. Will the grooms and Wiley please stand to be acknowledged? Our next VIP partnership is with Jeff. Jeff has served in the military for over 16 years and is still going. During his first of 4 deployments, a generator exploded in his face, causing burns and temporary blindness. In addition to the physical scars, Jeff has PTSD, and this was compounded by his son's hospitalization during his time in recovery. I don't know about you, but when I talk about military families like this, I'm always in awe of their resilience and dedication to serving all of us. This family has 5 children, but one in particular is the reason that they turned to PAALS for a companion that was safe and nurturing. We have never met a sweeter dog than Miss Carrie. As soon as we saw their son and Carrie interact, we knew that this was a match that could not be denied. Will the Poston family and Carrie please stand? And our final VIP partnership is with a man named Vince. Vince has offered to actually tell you his own story, so I'm going to invite him up here today. You'll see that he has Earl, who is the brother of some of the other Glabs that we were just talking about. So please welcome Vince and Earl.
How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? Yes. That's good. My name is Vince Byrne. Obviously, I'm not from Columbia, South Carolina. I was born and raised in Scotland. Been here 27 years, and I served in the U.S. Army for almost 12 years. I think there's a little thing in a leaflet. I just noticed that. I didn't know it was in there. But there's a little story in there about my military career. I've done a lot of different things, deployed to Afghanistan, Kuwait, and Iraq. I actually was in Kuwait in 2002, 8 months prior to the invasion of Iraq. I got stop-lost. My unit got stop-lost. Thus, we got tasked with a third ID and went to Iraq. And as a soldier, people tend to always think of, almost stereotype the soldier as if you're an infantryman, you do a certain thing. If you're a cook, you do a certain thing. Everybody's got their own jobs, but, as I found out firsthand that you can be called to do anything, especially in combat, in a combat situation. And one of the things I was called to do was work with mortuary affairs. So I've seen firsthand the sacrifices that our young boys made over there. Every day, around 4 o'clock, the truck would come in we knew how many bodies on there. But when the body bags are opened up, it's a guy who looks like you, who's dressed like you. Sometimes, sometimes it doesn't look like a human body, and sometimes you wonder what happened. But I could tell you that assisting mortuary affairs, these gentlemen, some of them told me that they went straight from reserve status after 9/11 to the Pentagon, worked there, went to Afghanistan, and set up a temporary mortuary in Kuwait. So, we didn't have a lot of resources that were needed there, but we did the best we could, and we treated our fellow brothers, some civilians. David Bloom came through the mortuary, the reporter, while we were there. And but we treated them with as much dignity as we could, and we were there to assist. And we put them on the back of a refrigerated truck, what they call a reefer truck, to keep the bodies cold. And within 24 hours, usually they were flown back to Dover. And we also assisted with the British mortuary as well. They were actually short. But we stayed there all night, and, from 7, 8 o'clock at night, and it was quiet, and our job was to guard that area because there was a lot going on in that camp there, and a lot of people were always asking, what do you guys do here? So we barbed wired the place off, and we sat there and just thought about somebody getting a knock on the door back in this country 24 hours, 48 hours later. So we knew we did the best. But in the conditions we worked in and the conditions that we lived in, the dusty, dirty sandstorms, we just, I guess, knew that we did the best we could, but we didn't feel it was a dignified way. And one of the ways that when I came back home, my son and I, Jordan, I suffered a brain injury as well towards the end of my tour. I didn't have a lucky tour over there. But one of the things we did, it was a Sunday, and it was a local gentleman up there, and he was getting buried in the northeast area. And it was a military funeral. And instead of sitting playing Xbox or PlayStation, I said, let's go up to the funeral. So we went to the funeral, and we seen the guys from his unit. We seen his sergeant major there, the coffin draped in the American flag, and getting a proper send-off. He was a local gentleman from here in Columbia. So as I sat there that day, I thought, well, that's how the full circle comes. Because as we were taking the boots off, or the socks, we knew that, the day before they put their boots on or socks, you don't know what's going to happen. And it's the same here in civilian life. You don't know, So moving on, went into Iraq, served over there, put things to the back of my mind. You do. Yeah, you focus and concentrate on your next mission. And some of the sights that you see, will stop you in your tracks, but you keep moving on. And as an NCO, your responsibility is to be strong in front of the younger soldiers. I was an older NCO. And you keep moving on, and you come back home. And I came back home with a brain injury. I had a bleed on the brain, and I was having difficulty walking, talking, writing, picking up stuff. communicating, and I just shut myself off from the world. And I couldn't process what happened, and I couldn't believe what happened. And I found myself on the internet looking up Kent Wolf mortuary, and did this really happen? I couldn't process it, and some days I still can't process it. To cut a long story short, I get back. We're 6 years down the road. Still go to the VA. I was at the VA today. Still go see a counselor. Many people have said to me, get a dog, get a dog. Because what a lot of veterans do is we cut ourselves off from the rest of the world. You come back to the United States and you can't go to Walmart. There's too many people moving around. You go on a highway and you're exhausted because you keep looking in your mirror, you keep looking behind you, you keep wondering, what is he looking at, So it's very exhausting and taxing. But I liked Earl. I don't know what it was. He's a character. He's a squirrel chaser. My wife's ended up in the hospital twice with him. The first time she took him out the back to go pee-pee, as she says, he pulled her off the porch and dragged her like 15 yards into the bushes, And she came in, Earl, can you lay down, son? He just sniffed around. But in saying that, he is an absolutely wonderful, he's an absolutely wonderful companion. And, I'm finding out things about him every day. And the intelligence of these dogs and the training they go through, they're not ordinary dogs. They are elite dogs. And I think I mentioned at the gym before, they're elite dogs. He didn't quite make it like a lot. If you've got a squirrel chaser or a cat chaser, you ain't going to make it, big time. But, and I keep telling him, look, you flunked boot camp, but I still love you, I still love you. He's a fabulous companion. When I don't feel good, sometimes I'll sleep for 14 hours a day, and he'll be right there by my side. I'm not alone anymore. When I'm sitting on the porch at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, staring off like I did at the mortuary, I told Harvey and Nancy, now I have somebody right there with me. And he'll tell me when it's time to go in. He'll come up and say, look, it's cold out here. Let's, And I put his little blankie in his cage and I tuck him in, kind of like an NCO or I've been a father, I'm a father as well. And before you go to bed, you tuck your son in and tell him a little bedtime story. Well, I always say to Earl overnight, I love you, and I'll pat him, and we'll look forward to what we're going to do tomorrow, and we'll go for a walk. And he's low maintenance. He's spoiled, but he's low maintenance. And he's made a tremendous, tremendous difference to my life. And this organization here, I really can't thank them enough. And they're not just, you can't just take a regular dog. You can take a regular dog, and dogs are very, very smart, but the training that the PAALS program puts them through is second to none, and I will testify to that, and he's definitely made a big, big improvement to my life. Even sitting here, this is the furthest I've driven with Earl, so I don't go too far anymore. But he was fantastic in the van coming down. He tends to want to be right beside you, shifting gear or whatever. He's right there trying to help you, But he's a good friend, good companion, and definitely made a huge improvement on my life. So thanks to all the volunteers, everybody, the little guy who, I don't know who it was. I was down there one day talking to Jen, and the guy with a pooper scooper, these are the guys who go unnoticed, but I don't know who he was, Jen. Who was that guy?
Might have been Alex.
Is it Alex? Where is Alex? Alex is out there.
He's probably scooping poop.
He probably is, yeah.
We have like 30 dogs in here.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, the work that has to be done to go into, to get these dogs up to standard to where they can be with somebody and almost take care of them and be life-changing. So I know I've been a bit long-winded, but that's my story, and this is Earl, and I feel very blessed and feel very lucky to have him. And thanks to everybody.
Okay, so now it's on to our assistance team graduates. And first up, we're going to start with our first service dog to help someone with a prosthetic leg. Our first team that you're going to see up here on video, thanks to Mr. Ed, is Dapper and Mary. Thanks for helping, hon. Okay, so I'm going to let Mary speak because I can't now.
One thing about Dapper is he understands that people aren't as nearly as adept at doing things as he is, and he takes charge and decided to walk himself up here and didn't think any of the adults were capable of it. But let me just say that Dapper has changed my life, and he is the most remarkable dog that there ever was. The first time we met, Dapper and I was sitting in the middle of a room. Jen and Maureen and Jory and Kelly were sitting around the perimeter, and they let Dapper out of his crate. And he immediately came to me in the center of the room, picked up my cane, which I had placed on the side, beside myself, and immediately handed it to me. And it was like we knew we were meant for each other. Of course, he's disappointed about the fact that he's now picked it up probably 10,000 times, and he's beginning to lose interest in it. But he is absolutely remarkable. I'd like to thank you all for what you've done. The folks at Kershaw Correctional Institute in particular, Dapper spent a year there before going to PAALS Central for his advanced training. Y'all did a wonderful job with him. He's been to, Dallas, Texas already. He's been to San Francisco. He's been to Los Angeles. He's intending to go back to Los Angeles and San Francisco. This is major because the reason I lost my leg was because of plane travel. And I was perfectly healthy, didn't even have a doctor. And suddenly, after a long plane flight, I developed blood clots. And so for me to get back on the plane, and both my children and all their family and my grandchildren are in California, for me to get back on a plane and to be able to do that again is wonderful. And you've trained them so well, Dapper hasn't been thrown off a single plane yet. So we're grateful for that. But again, thank you for all the volunteers. I know the heart and soul you put into these dogs. I don't see how you can part with the dogs once you put your heart and soul. But I will tell you, we were made to be together. He is wonderful. I love him dearly. And he finally decided to sit down. All right, that means it's time for me to go. But thank you very much again.
Okay, for those of you who haven't met Akira, this is the retired mama of our program with her foster, Miss Maddie. She's going to hopefully deliver the scroll. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Okay. Next up, we have our triple threat service dog for mobility, autism, and alert work. This is Dapper's sister, Daisy and Jory. Please watch this video.
Difference you've made in my life. What a difference you've made in my life. You're my sunshine day and night. Oh, what a difference you've made in my life. What a change you have made in my heart. What a change you have made in my heart. You replaced all the broken parts. Oh, what a change you have
Well, please welcome to the stage our next graduate, Jory and Daisy.
Hello. Oh, for those who don't know me, my name's Jory, and this is Daisy here. Okay. Oh goodness, where to begin? Well, I'm a student at USC. I'm super happy about that. I'm studying marine science and geography. Those are definitely two of my major interests, and I'm really excited to get the chance to study those there. And probably before I talk a little bit about Daisy, I wish Miss Maureen was here because the other day, just earlier this week, the first time that I didn't hear my feeding pump go off, which provides very important formula, Daisy actually heard it, and she alerted. And that was the first time. We practiced it, of course, before a lot, but that was the first time when we were out that I didn't hear it. And I know Miss Maureen spent hours training Daisy to do just that. Yeah, but it was cold. It was 20 degrees, and I had like a million coats on, so that's why I didn't hear it. And let's see. I have quite a number of things that Daisy helps me with. The first is, of course, I have a genetic metabolic disorder, so I wear a feeding pump because I can't process fats. So it provides a lot of energy and stuff that I need in order to survive. And so it beeps whenever there's a problem with the formula running in. If there's a kink, an air bubble, something like that, and it'll beep. It's very high-pitched. In an environment like this, it would be able to hear it. But say in Williams-Brice Stadium, which is an amazing place, I would not be able to hear it potentially for 3 hours, which would be very, very threatening. At least if the student section is doing their job, I wouldn't be able to hear it. So that's definitely one of the most important things she helps me with, probably. The second major one is I have autism, so this is a lot of fun. But she has some behaviors for pressure that are really helpful when I have those sort of social situations where there's just loads of people everywhere, and it's like, what's going on here? And she's always completely unfazed by everything, so that's always extremely helpful. And one of the ways, she's not trained to help me with this, but one of the ways that she helps me with autism, which sometimes I don't like, but I'm sure Mom likes a lot, is that I meet a lot of people on campus with Daisy. They're like, oh my gosh, you have a dog. It's like you've never seen a person with a dog before when it's a service dog. So yeah, but I've got to meet a lot more people than I definitely would have if I didn't have Daisy. So that's definitely a big thing to help with autism, because meeting people is not very fun, usually. So I've really enjoyed having a little conversation starter going, makes it a little easier. And the third thing that she helps me with is I have mild cerebral palsy, and also muscle weakness results from the metabolic disorder as well. So I wear AFOs, which are like braces for the leg. And so I do have some sort of fatigue and endurance issues with muscles, especially after a long day of walking on campus. And so if I'm having a bad day, Daisy can brace from when I'm sitting down and standing up, or from the ground or something like that. And she can also pick up stuff if I drop it, so that if I drop my keys getting in the car and I have my 1,000-pound backpack on, I don't have to bend over and break my back. So that's an amazing help there. And yeah, I think that about covers what Daisy does. She's a really smart cookie. She loves going to class. She gets to do what every college student wishes they could do in class. She takes a nap, so yeah, she has a great time. Yeah, she's made friends with all the professors. Like my Spanish professor says she's the best student she's ever had in her Spanish class. But we've had a great time exploring campus, and it's just been really wonderful as I move into this sort of new phase of my life, going to college, that I have such a wonderful friend that's here to keep me safe and help me meet new people and keep me going. And PAALS, you do really great things. And I'm excited to do definitely the PAALS with Reading program. I think that's a really cool thing, where little kids can read to dogs. So they do a lot of stuff for the community, and they've done a lot for me, of course, with Daisy. So I'm really excited, and thanks so much.
And Akira would like to deliver the scroll. How about a round of applause for all of our VIP and our assistance dog teams tonight? While we had you all gathered here, we wanted to just take this opportunity to just update you on a few things we've done since the last time we celebrated together. PAALS has been incredibly busy over the last year. We've added a lot of new community programs, so we just wanted to show you a few of those. If we could dim the lights real quick. Thank you. So since we saw you in 2012, for those of you who don't see us on a regular basis, one of the biggest things that we've accomplished is we have become the only ADI or Assistance Dog International certified program based in the state of South Carolina. This year, we have had more dogs in training than ever before. You might have noticed that if you looked around the room today. We have had over 20 dogs at any given time in our training program, and to date, we have 23. As you heard a little bit about today, some of this was to expand our prison program and to include some rescues and help more veterans in our community. And some of those programs were our summer camp. We completed our 7th summer of Doggone Days of Summer Camp this year. We just started our 2nd year of our after-school program where we work with 6th graders at Longleaf Middle School. So we are teaching up to 60 children during the school year using our service dogs in training, and this has been a really successful program. We are now in our 5th year of partnering with Kershaw Correctional Institution in our Prison PALS program, and they deserve a huge round of applause. For those of you who don't know, Sherry Jordan is our almost full-time volunteer instructor for that program, so we couldn't complete that without her. And also this year, we added a Department of Justice apprenticeship program, so inmates that are completing that program now can get out of prison and actually have a nationally recognized skill. So we're really excited about that. We are in our 2nd year of our Reading with Dogs program. As Jory mentioned, during his team training, he and Mary got to actually do that for the first time, where they got to sit with their service dogs and encourage children to read that might be struggling to do so. And so we are doing that on a regular basis, actually every month here in Richland County. And as Jory mentioned, we trained our very first alert dog, and I am sad to say that Maureen, our trainer, is not able to be here due to an out-of-state family emergency, so I do covet all your prayers for her and her family. But she did an amazing job. This was our first time asking a dog to alert to a potentially life-threatening condition, and as Jory mentioned, she's now doing it on a regular basis, but also did it when he didn't hear it. So a big round of applause for Maureen, even though she's not here. And although you can't see Mary's prosthetic tonight, we got a lovely picture of it for you. I'm sure she's really excited. But this was our first time training a dog to help somebody who used a prosthetic, and there is a lot of differences with that. Mary was really great about helping us learn through that process of all the different sounds that it makes. If you don't know anything about that, please talk to her later during our meet and greet. I'm sure she'd love to demonstrate for you. And Maureen did get to complete her apprenticeship, so she became our first full paid instructor at PAALS, which was a huge accomplishment, so we're really excited about that. And we have started our next. And poor Nick has been scrambling around all night. In absence of Maureen, he has had to learn very quickly, even though he's still at the very beginning of his apprenticeship, so he's been an amazing addition to the team. We also hired 2 new, and I put that in quotes because actually Rose is not new at all, but she is finally paid for a little bit of what she does. She still volunteers in addition to doing some paid time for PALS as administrative assistant. And Terry joined us just a few months ago, but has already wrestled her sister in here. She was giving you all programs, so we love people who get their family to volunteer, so big round of applause for them. And another not new person, but newly to our staff, is Patricia. Patricia is a part-time animal care technician, and she has been an immense help tonight, so thank you, Patricia. And that pooper scooper, there he is. That's not his official title. He's actually a part-time animal care technician assistant. Patricia's job is so big, we had to get her an assistant. So big round of applause for Alex. I really can't say enough about our volunteers. As you see, we have very few staff compared to the number of people that needed to pull all of this off. We have people in this room that took those dogs that you now see with other people, and they loved on them, and they got them through all their rotten puppy phases, and they let them chew their shoes, and they did all the things that you do with your puppies that you love and adore, and then they took them and said, "Here, stranger, have the love of my life." So thank you to all of our fosters. We cannot do this without you. A big round of applause for everyone who's taken dogs home. We also have volunteers that do any number of things. Most of them are working behind the scenes, not getting recognition, and so we're going to try to recognize them tonight in the next room. So anyone who's a volunteer, don't run away. We have some fun surprises next door for you in a few minutes. We have some amazing partnerships in our community that also help to keep this program going. And this year we unleashed a new preferred veterinary program. Dutch Fork Animal Hospital was the first to take us up on this, so they are sponsoring several of our puppies in training right now and providing all of the veterinary care that's necessary. That is a huge benefit to us. I also want to recognize St. Andrew's Animal Clinic because they have been supporting our program since the very beginning, doing a ton of in-kind work in order to support our program. And Dr. Greg has also just started helping us with some of our procedures. So our veterinarians have been really good to us in our community. A big round of applause for them. We also formed some new partnerships. For those of you who don't know, the majority of our program is run out of prison and, yes, my home. So the rest is done at Health South, which is our public office, and this is where we are able to be handicap accessible as well as at the facility here that donates space. So we're really grateful to Health South. They donate that office space to us every month. And these are just a few of our other platinum sponsorships that we'd like to point out to you. We've mentioned all of them here tonight, but again, we can't say enough thanks to all of those that are helping us as part of our PAALS program. I do want to point out too that a Paws Paradise, if those of you who don't know about it, it's a doggy daycare run by a good friend of ours. She donates space and has been doing this for over 6 years now. Every single Monday, staff time and space at her doggy daycare in order to be a drop-off and pick-up spot for our program. We literally wouldn't have half of the fosters that we have if it weren't for Stacy and her business. So if you haven't been to a Paws Paradise, it really is a doggy paradise. Please give her some business and thank her for us. And also, Northeast United Methodist Church has been extremely generous to us. Our pastor, Dave, is here tonight, so big round of applause for them. Every time that I need to do a volunteer class and this space isn't available or we need to work with our clients, they have been kind enough to donate that time and time again, so we're extremely grateful for that. And these are just a few of our other partnerships. Again, we have lots of people who donate their time and talent to PAALS. We're extremely grateful. We don't get to thank you publicly enough, so we try to do that every chance we get. Now, there's no way I could get away with doing this tonight if it weren't for Sandra. Sandra is hiding in the back. Sandra, come on up here real quick. This is the chairman of our board. She is also our party planner. She does all of our fundraisers. She's hanging banners. She's running around, always making sure that everyone is having a good time everywhere we go. Please give a big round of applause to Sandra. And next is Ed, the man behind the madness. Ed, please stand up. I know you're busy back there, but stand up. For people like me that literally can shut a computer down just by looking at it wrong, Ed is priceless. He does so much IT work for us and puts all of our videos together, and all of the equipment you see here today is thanks to Ed. Thank you so much, Ed. And I always like to end our graduation by reminding you that there are lots of people on our waiting list still waiting for help. I hope that something that you've seen here inspires you to get involved with PAALS if you haven't already. Or if you're already involved, maybe you'll tell a friend that hasn't already learned about us so that we can reach out to more people in our community. We have lots of people that need our help. So what I always like to do as part of our tradition is turn those lights back on and ask all of our fosters, pup sitters to line up. We are going to let you see our next generation of dogs. Any of them that can fit up on the stage, we're going to try to get you up here, and everyone else can get on the sides. Starting with our oldest, but one of our best, Miss Akira, the mama of the program, with Miss Maddie. Please give them a big round of applause. And one of our VIP dogs that's actually waiting for a recipient is about 2.5 years old. Her name is Hope, and I think she's with Miss Irene. I think they're coming. Yeah, there they are. Irene, come on down. Give Miss Hope a big round of applause. I think she had to let go of a leash. She had 2 leashes going there. It's advanced maneuvers. Next in that age group is a 2.5-year-old named Sammy with Miss Sue. Miss Sue, would you please bring Mr. Sammy down? He's actually from Southeastern Guide Dogs. He's a great dog that we're trying to retrain right now. So big round of applause for Sammy and Sue. Now we get to our 1-year-olds. Has anyone out there ever had a 1-year-old golden before? Whoo-wee, yeah, good times. Look out, this might be fun. Okay, first in the 1-year-old category, we have Kendra. I'm not even sure, I think Sherry has Kendra. Big round of applause for our Prison PALS instructor and Kendra. All right, Sherry, you've got to come up on stage. No one else is coming up on stage. You got to break the bubble. All right, and next is her good friend, Miss Tina. I think she's with Kim, unless they swapped around. Okay, Nick is bringing Tina. Oh, and our apprentice trainer, Nick. Do the catwalk, Nick. Round of applause. Man of the hour. Her other good friend, led by my sister-in-law, is Adler and Miss Susan. Come on down. Come on, Susan, get on up here. And now for our adolescents, we have Dutch, another Southeastern Guide Dog puppy, coming down with Keith. There they are. Give a big round of applause for Mr. Dutch and Keith. And at 8 months old is also Miss Brandy. I believe she's being led by Miss Sharon. They're coming up the way through the back. Big round of applause for Brandy, another golden. And just behind her at about 7.5 months old is Mr. Fred. Who's got Fred? Fred is with Rose, I think, yeah. Oh, Kim's got Fred. Here they come. Come on up here. There's Fred. For those of you who don't know, Fred is named for one of our board members who died last year, so he's near and dear to our heart. Look at that handsome boy. And his brother Gilbert. Miss Elizabeth, I think you have Gilbert. Come on down. These are our labs, by the way. Yay. And their other brother, Warrior. Here comes Miss Rose with Mr. Warrior. At 4 months old, we have Scotty. Where is Scotty? Oh, there's Catherine with Scotty. Big round of applause for Scotty, another little black lab. Scotty is actually the first puppy from our ABC co-op program. This is an ADI collaborative breeding program, and so we're really excited about her because she's the first one to come to us from that. And this one's getting a lot of attention these days. She is a 3.5-month-old beauty, a Bernese mountain dog that was donated to us, Miss Emery. And Miss Terry has Miss Emery coming down. Oh my, yes, she's pretty. All right, Terry, come on up front. Everyone wants to see her. She's like the beauty queen around here. Everybody wants to see Emery. Some of the dogs haven't met Emery yet, so that's why they're very excited about her. Okay, hang in there. Only a few more left. All right, 3 months old. We've got Phil. Where's Phil? I know he's here. Who has Phil? Oh, he's coming. Oh, Lauren has him. Come on up, Lauren. Oh, there's Phil. Oh, that's cute stuff. Don't you want to take one home for the weekend? We need weekend fosters. Okay, at 2 months old, our 2 quarantine pups are brothers. It is Alan and Kane. Patricia and Dale, come on down with the cutie patooties, please. Oh, big round of applause for the babies. You're famous. How does it feel to have paparazzi? Awesome. All right, guys, let's see if we can squish everyone in without any dog fights. Squish together now so the photographer can get everyone. So hopefully you are now seeing the next couple of generations of PAALS assistance dogs, and one day you'll come back and see them up here with our next set of teams. You get to hear about how they've changed some people's lives, and you can say, I saw that when that puppy was trying to bite someone's purse walking at graduation. So one thing we can't thank enough are our dogs. You know, we all have great ideas about what the dogs should do, and they don't really get to say what they want to do. They tell us eventually, and we try to pay attention, but our dogs work really hard to change people's lives. We are eternally grateful to all of these puppies and dogs and all the people who work for them. So a big round of applause for our puppy family. I'd like to thank all of you for attending our graduation tonight. Again, if you're a volunteer or a friend of a volunteer, please stick around. We're going next door for some celebrating. And for our supporters, please feel free to mingle with our client teams. They're going to stay here for just a few minutes so that you can talk to them a little bit. And then Sandra has an announcement.
I hate being up here, but I do want to say that we just appreciate Jen and what her family does to help support her and PAALS. It's amazing. I go over there and I'm just completely overwhelmed. I get like stressed out about a lot of things, and then I talk to Jen and her day and I'm like, okay, you win. So thank you to Jen. I mean, she just got back from Belgium. She can barely breathe with the sinus infection, and she's like, I'm here, woo-wee. So we really appreciate that. We love her new family, and just want to say, please, all of you, definitely all of you, join us next door, just right in the next room. We're having a meet and greet. We've just got some appetizers, some cake, some drinks, some wine, some beer, and then definitely meet all of our neat new clients. We are so appreciative. Thank you.